If you have been struggling to get sales from your design work or understanding what you really need to do to make money, I have the workshop for you. On September 23rd, I'm hosting my first ever Profitable Designer Workshop. This 1-day, 3-hour workshop is only $97, but I have a discount for all my podcast listeners. Go to carinagardnercourses.com/profit and put in the code podcast for $50 off. I can't wait to see you more profitable. Welcome to the Make and Design Podcast. I'm your host, Carina Gardner. On this podcast, we're unraveling the everyday joys and dilemmas of design, making, and business. For makers who want to be designers and for designers who are makers, this is your inside scoop to help you grow your business and bring more creativity to your life. Hey guys, it's summertime. And some of you are coming to listen to this because your designs aren't selling. And maybe it's just summertime. But I really think, especially if you're listening to this at any point in the year, there are lots of reasons why designs do not sell. So this is kind of a tough love episode in that you need to do a little self-awareness check on where you are as a designer, what you're currently doing, and what you can do to become better. So I really, when my design work isn't selling, because I've been doing this for so long, I know it's not because I am not a good designer. And for many of you, you are excellent designers. You guys know, I tell you, you are worthy of this. You're good at this. You're learning the skills. And so very many times it's not the design work itself. Okay. That being said, for some of you, and you know who you are, you have never had any mentorship. So you've never had your artwork critiqued. So how do you know if your stuff is good enough? Okay. So, just really kind of soak that in and think about it. I hear a lot of times, designers tend to be really proud that they're self-taught and they've done it on their own. And I do think there's a lot of power in that and self-confidence in that. But very often, if we're doing this on an island by ourselves, what happens is we don't know what we don't know. So we don't realize there are other marketplaces. We don't realize what we're doing wrong. We might have no insight on our design work. And this happens often. I'll be seeing, I'll go on Instagram or I'll be talking to a designer. They'll show me their artwork. And I'm like, oh man, this is good stuff. And then I see like this or this or this. And I'm like, oh gosh, I wish they would change that scale. Oh gosh, I wish they would just move or change that one color. Or I wish they would X, Y, and Z. Because in my head, I'm always critiquing, right? As a professor of design, I always want to make sure that the design work is excellent. Or sometimes it just simply isn't up-leveled. It's just so simple. And if you're someone who's like, I just want to do simple designs, there is a market out there, especially for simple designs. I think they're very beautiful, but you have to be careful because if it's too simple, anybody else can replicate it and you aren't really like honing in, digging in and building yourself up as a signature designer. And so, especially when I'm seeing those simple designs at the beginning, it's okay. Like I want you to build those up because it's like thumbnails, right? We're getting through and just outputting as much as we can. But after you've been a designer for a certain amount of time, you should be up leveling your design work. It should be better. It should be more complicated. It should be more intricate. It needs to be smarter. And so that's why mentorship is usually key for something like that. And I need you to do some self-awareness checks. Like, are you like in your own ego going, well, I'm self-made. I did this by myself, and being stuck and not making any money and your stuff isn't selling. And you're like, you know what? I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this because I'm not making any money. That's what I see really often. And is it worth your ego to say I'm a self-made designer when you can't even design anymore because you're not making any money and you're not making any progress? So just think about that for yourself. And as you move forward, really figuring out why your stuff isn't selling. Now, for some of you, your stuff is fantastic. And so you need to look very carefully at your business model and try to figure out where the holes are. I just did an accelerated workshop where we talked about the holes in our business, where we really dug deep into figuring out which pieces were missing. And if you want to know what those pieces are, you have to have in your design business to make it go. I talk in length about my framework, which are the things that you have to have in order to make a design business go. That's day 3 in my design bootcamp. So you can check that out at carinagardnercourses.com/design bootcamp. Now, maybe you feel like your artwork is fantastic. It should be selling. You don't know why. Maybe your business itself is solid. Okay. Maybe you have all the things you need. Okay. So then why aren't they selling? At that point, you've got to do some self-reflection and go, is it just time of year? Is it just the cycle? Because sometimes it's the cycle. Okay. So just be aware. I think those are the 3 components we should be looking at. If you want to know about the holes in your business, you're going to want to check out a design bootcamp or an accelerated workshop, because I'll talk about those holes and what those things are in my framework. But more than anything, if you've got all 3 of those things, you're in a good season. You like the business part is solid. There's nothing missing in your framework, and the design work is good. Your stuff should be selling, right? Now, it's so funny because recently I had a design bootcamp member say, oh, I think this design bootcamp is really basic. I didn't learn anything from it. And I was like, oh, really? You must be making tons of money then. And she was like, oh no, I haven't made any money at all. And I was like, I don't understand. I don't understand, because if you aren't actually implementing, but in my design bootcamp, I legitimately tell you how I made it. I tell you all the pieces and the components for how I actually made it. And if you aren't doing the things, if it's so basic and you're not making any money, then I'm always a little bit confused. Because if you are doing the things I've told you to do in a design bootcamp, which is not very much, our design bootcamp is a very inexpensive 5-day training where I really dig deep. I tell you my framework. I give you tactical advice. I tell you what happened with me so that if you understand what happened to me and it's happening to you, because it almost always people are like, that is where I am right now. And I figured out a way to get past it. You can too. And if you're not making any money, it means you didn't learn anything in that design bootcamp, because you should have taken the things I said in that bootcamp, even one thing, that aha moment should have hit you about why you're not making money and why you need to move forward or implement in a different way. So I just find, even myself, I actually, at the time of recording this, it'll be past already. I'm going to a retreat, and it's about, I'm working on my first book. Now, I've written a dissertation before, but I don't know anything about writing a book. I have an idea about what it's like just because I've written, a 300-page document before. And as I'm getting into it, I'm going into this going, I know nothing. I am here base level with everybody else, and I'm going to figure out and learn everything I can from the person that's teaching me. And I find when I think I'm the smartest person in the room, I just am. And what happens is I learn nothing. But if I go into anything that I'm doing, going, you know what, I could learn here. I am not the smartest person in the room. I think that I could really gain something here. I always do. And I find that it tends to be a mindset issue, at least for me. For you, maybe it's not. Maybe it's something else. But for me, I just have to humble myself down and tell myself, I've got to learn here. I've got to learn, but I also want to give here. If I can learn and give, then both of those things are important to me. And I think if you go through life, this is kind of a side note, but like if you go through life or in your design business thinking, what can I learn here? What could I gain from this? Then I move forward with so much more grace. I actually take action and implement the things that people are telling me to do. And it helps me remain humble. And it also helps me remember that I can do more. I can absolutely do more. And I think it's been an eye-opening experience as I get to interact with so many of you. If you come to a design bootcamp, like I'm in the DMs talking to you, we're chatting, I'm trying to see where you are, trying to see if design is really going to be your life, if it's something that would benefit you. And you guys, I'm very serious about design. I mean, I have a whole podcast 3 times a week. I come on here to talk to you guys about design because I am passionate about design. I love design, and I'm passionate about helping people make money as designers, because I don't want this to just be a hobby for you. I want it to be a full-time career. And when I say full-time, I mean, maybe it's a side hustle, right? Like maybe you're just doing it on the side and you're retired, or you're traveling all the time and you do this on the side. That's okay. I feel great about that. My whole thing for you is that you figure out what success looks like for you in design. But I have just had such an enjoyable career as a designer. It's just been so fun, and I continue to design, right? I have my design business still, which does and brings in its own income, completely separate from when I teach design, which is one of the number one reasons so many people do trust what I'm saying, because I'm doing it. We have 8 shops. I have a contract. I've been a creative director. Design is not going away in my life. I love it way too much. So what I really am teaching is what I'm really practicing. And I hope that you just go through life with this open heart of like, what can I learn? I know so many of you come to this podcast doing that thing. You come here going, what can I learn? What can Carina teach me today? And I just appreciate you. I appreciate you, because I'm hoping that the things I'm telling you on this podcast, that you will take them and you will implement them, that you'll figure out steps that you need to make, that you will take them and really make some serious progress with them. So that's what I hope for you. And I know everybody has time of life, right? Struggles, summertime. If you have kids at home, gosh darn it, it is tough with kids at home, right? But you'll figure it out. You'll make huge strides if you just do the work. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today. If you want more, if you want to learn more, if you want to get some of my PDFs, go join me at Carina Gardner. It's my Instagram feed, and I love to give you guys more information there about design. Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.